Hello, everybody, and welcome to the face reading of the people in the news. Today, we'll be talking about Nelson Mandela. Thank you, Paul from South Africa, for suggesting that I do a reading on Mandela. I'm sorry that I neglected to do it till now because Mandela was such a remarkable man. But also, from a morphological perspective, he had an unusual and interesting face. Here is Nelson Mandela, ladies and gentlemen, a man born into a royal family of Thumbu people of South Africa, a former lawyer, a head of the militant wing of the African National Congress, a prisoner for 27 years, a Nobel Peace Prize winner in 1993, and the first South African black president, a man who lived till the ripe age of 95, may he rest in peace. I found many photos where Mandela has his beautiful smile, but only one photo where he looks straight into the camera and does not smile. And that is the picture we need for the reading. So we'll use this one. He does not really appear to be a happy camper on this picture, but we got the right angle and the features are not distorted by a smile. Morphologically, as I said, his face is quite interesting, quite unusual. Here we see clearly a trapezoid, the Jupiter, but it's only the upper part of his face. Then you can also clearly see the Saturn. I don't think that I ever looked at such a combination, Jupiter over Saturn. Nevertheless, here he is. Let's see what are the qualities which are combined within this one personality. Well, as Jupiter, Mandela was a person of integrity and order, a person seeking justice and stability. He was as consistent and reliable as they come. Remember, people with the Jupiter personality are the least discouraged compared to all other personalities. That is, to be discouraged by anyone or anything. If they believe something is right, it does not matter how many people think otherwise, they stick to their truth. Their religiosity and or moral values help them to stay on course even when the going gets tough. And they always retain their usual benevolence and generosity. The only time that Jupiter lose their composure is when they perceive injustice. Then they may become authoritarian, moralistic, and self-righteous. The Jupiterian mind is very powerful and conceptual. They're good teachers and leaders. They're great companions, as well as patient and tolerant caregivers. But it was only part of Mandela's personality. It was intertwined with a Saturn personality. The Saturn are extremely time conscious. They like timelines, and time must be accounted for them. They're very reliable. They must have order to be comfortable. They have more perseverance in what they do than any personality out of 12. They're always organized and meticulous and always know what they have done so far and what is left to accomplish. They take time before they act and therefore may seem to be indecisive. In truth, they're very capable of making decisions and acting upon them. They just need time between the thought and action. The Saturn are deep thinkers with philosophical inclination. Overcoming challenges gives the Saturn meaning in life, very much like a pure bilious lives. The Saturn like to work on specific details. They take one point and go deeply with it. Sadness in the Saturn changes to anger, which again fuels the will to overcome. What is interesting is that most of the time when a person has a combination of two personalities in one face, these two personalities clash to one degree or another, which creates a lot of tension in their personal life. But it seems that the characteristics of Saturn and Jupiter do not have such a contradiction. Perhaps only one that Jupiter is a visionary, can see and is interested in the bigger picture, while the Saturn is more detail-oriented and interested in the here and now. But even these qualities may complement each other rather than contradicting each other. That is, the impatience and the need to act of the Saturn is mellowed down by the patience, tolerance, and somewhat slower pace of the Jupiter. And now let's look at a couple of interesting features. Here, I did a little left side, right side analysis. Remember what it means. The two left sides simulation shows where a person was in the past emotionally, and the two right sides shows where the person is in the present at the time of the picture being taken and the potential for the future. All I want to say here is that it looks like in the past Mandela's eyes are closed in the two left sides you can see. And the two right sides that you can see show that his eyes are wide open. So it seems like in the present, at the moment of the picture being taken and his potential for the future, he had a vision of where he was going, much more than in the past. And what's another interesting feature is here, two actually more interesting features. One is the space between Mandela's eyes. It's a big space, meaning that he was naturally kind, and his ears are far away from the skull, telling us that he was independent. And finally, now let's look at Mandela's temperament, the qualities he was born with. Here he is, and what jumps out right away is, of course, it looks like he was of a nervous temperament. This clear bow-like profile. But wait, let's go step by step. The corner of the jaw is clearly bilious. You see the little yellow line. You can clearly see a line between the forehead and the chin. It's a straight line, which also is a characteristic of bilious. And the jaw goes down under 45 degrees, like any bilious jaw would. So Mandela is really a bilious with a nervous cast. So what we know of Mandela as a bilious is that he was a natural leader, willful, bossy, long-distance runner in every way, made long-term plans, had great energy and endurance, needed not too much sleep. He was active, organized, and oppositional. Whatever opinion he heard, he needed to come up with an alternative. He was a positive pessimist. That is, he could see a lot of negativity everywhere, but was inspired to make whatever was negative, to make it better. Remember, the only time people with the bilious temperament become depressed is when they don't have challenges to overcome. But the nervous cast added to Mandela's temperament greater sensitivity, creativity, flexibility, and the quickness of the mind. The combination of this powerful temperament with the personality of the visionary Jupiter and the meticulous Saturn availed Mandela with qualities without which he could not possibly become a leader he was. Quiet and yet vocal, gentle and forceful, detail-oriented and foresighted, flexible and non-compromising, combative and reconciliatory, old and wise and ever young in spirit. And that is all I wanted to say about Mandela. Please click subscribe if you want to be notified each time I post a video. Thank you for being with me today. Peace to all who want to live in peace.